Hello guys and welcome to today's video. Today we're going to be taking a look at a brand new product from a Chinese manufacturer called Mafam, and this is IWO 7. So this is a 7 series of IWO watches, and we will be taking a look at it. At the back of the box you can see that it says Series 7 and the size of the watch is 44 millimeters, and the watch uses the app that's called Wear Fit Pro. So without further ado, let's unbox it and let's see what comes in the box for $33 from China with free shipping. So sure enough, you'll get the watch itself. I've got the silver version and there are many different colors to choose from, and you can see it from the link that I'm going to leave down below. The watch comes with a nice looking manual which comes in both English and Chinese, and there is also a magnetic charger with a very good magnet that stays well connected throughout the charging period. So first of all, I'd like to throw a couple of figures about this watch, first of all, I'll tell you that the processor in this watch is HS6621, and it does the job pretty well. It actually sort of keeps up with the animation and all the things really well. And also the screen size is 1.82 inches across with a resolution of 320 by 380 pixels with 60 Hz refresh rate, which makes this watch actually very pleasant to look at and use it. The battery inside of the watch is 230 milliamp battery, and as long as you're not going to be turning on a secondary Bluetooth module which is used primarily for phone calls, you are looking at about 1.5 to 2 weeks usage time from one charge. However, if you're going to be using a secondary module for phone calls, the chances are you're going to drain the battery in less than 1 day. The watch comes with a Bluetooth module which is 5.0, so it stays well connected to your phone, and that allows for the weather updates and all the text messages and media stuff to come through really well. The watch comes with the IP rating 68, meaning that it's not afraid of any water or dust or anything like that. However, with the large cutouts like this and the little cutouts for the microphone, personally, I would not recommend to take this watch into the swimming pool. Chances are you're probably going to ruin it. However, I've been using it for more than 2 weeks now, and I've been washing dishes and washing my face and all those things with these watches, and there's been a number of splashes and water droplets on it, and the watch feels itself perfectly fine, so it will actually be fine with it. And finally, the app that's going to be used for this watch to be connected to your phone is called Wear Fit Pro, and I've got something to say about this app later on. So before we're going to start, I'm going to show you a close-up of the watch. So on the right side of the watch you've got two physical buttons. One is a crown and the other one is just a button. Dead in the middle between those two buttons you've got a cutout for the microphone. I have to say I'm really huge fan of this design because it looks like an iPhone 12, iPhone 13 design. It's very square, it's got a very nice metal. The buttons are probably metal too because it feels like metal. The crown is probably plastic, but it's got no it doesn't really wobble, so I'm quite happy with that. And overall the build quality is very clean. I can show you a very close up of it. There is no glue, there is nothing hanging out. It's just looking good. On the left side you've got, well, what's supposed to be two cutouts for your speaker. However, one is a fake one, so you can see it's all covered up. And my personal point on this would be, I would probably recommend, if you wanna do one cutout which is fake, I would probably spend some time and actually probably just paint it black, just so it doesn't stand out as much as that. And perhaps maybe if you buy yourself a black version of this watch, probably you wouldn't see this cutout like that. However, it's just there's one hole for the speaker and one is a fake one. The back of the watch looks like this. It's got several sensors. Sensors are fairly good, and I'm not going to show it on the camera. However, the sensors would not read heart rate unless the watch is on the wrist. So if the watch is sort of floating in the air, the sensor would not pick up anything, and it's not going to read heart rate. So you can be sure that the heart rate reading should be fairly stable and fairly good. And this is where your little magnetic charger goes on. So now let's just quickly jump into the software of the watch. There are several ways you can change the wallpapers, like the screensavers. First of all, you can flick through left or right. So for instance, I can go from left to right. Your backgrounds like this, watch faces like this, and then if you want to, you can use a crown, so you can just rotate your crown and it will do exactly the same thing. So it's a multi-function crown. You can press on it, you can rotate it, you can zoom in or zoom out on your main menu. But first of all, what I'd like to show you is what happens when you scroll from top to bottom. So I'm not going to press it, but this is where you've got little phone with a Bluetooth module symbol. This is what you need to press in order to activate your phone sort of capabilities. So that's going to turn on your microphone, and you can use your watch for conversations. I'm going to show you how the microphone sounds later on, so you can make a decision whether it's any good to you or not. Also, you've got a choice of different brightness sort of settings. I keep it personally on the brightest level because it just makes the screen looks nicer. Then where you've got this little bag symbol, that allows you to actually connect this watch to almost like an Apple Pay. You can't use an Apple Pay. The only way you can use the services that you can use would be PayPal and Alipay. So you can't connect anything else, but if you've got a PayPal account, possibly you can connect it to this watch, and you can make some payments in the shops. The chances are this function only works in China. That's usually the case, but I mean you can try it by all means, and maybe it's going to work in your country. And the little lock symbol in the right bottom corner allows you to lock the screen. So if I press on it, it will show you that the screen will be locked in 3 seconds. And basically, as soon as the screen goes dark, as soon as it turns off, it will activate the lock, which is very useful. Just gonna wait a couple of seconds for it, because what happens is, because the watch faces are easily changed throughout the swipe to left to right, usually that really annoys people because it's going to change your favorite wallpaper, your watch face. And if you activate the lock, you can't actually sort of press on the screen. The only way to use the screen is to when it's off, you just press the button, the screen comes on, and then you can see all the needed information. And if you want to deactivate the lock, you have to press the crown for 3 seconds, and the symbol will appear, meaning that the lock's been taken away, and now you can use your watch again. If you scroll from the bottom to top, that allows you to see your messages, and you can store about 6 to 8 messages. You can read them, not fully, you can read partially, and also you can delete messages, but you can't reply to the messages. And now let's jump into the main menu. You can actually access your main menu by pressing both of the buttons, so it doesn't really matter which one you press. Let's press the crown. It takes you to the main menu. As you previously seen already, you can scroll in, or you can zoom in or zoom out on the menu. Personally, I prefer to keep it fully zoomed in, just looks a bit nicer. It's got a very nice smooth animation, similar animation to what we've seen on HW22, a fairly old model, but the animation was really good. So let's see what's in the main menu. So there are several things you can choose from. So for instance, you can change the brightness of the screen. You can turn on your do not disturb mode. You can see the sleep record for the previous night. You can also activate things like, obviously you can go into your sports modes. You can see several sports modes available, and there is also sports modes for indoors as well as the outdoors. So this would be the indoor version here, and all it does, it just changes the reading of your physical activity slightly, so it could be useful for you. Things that you can see here would be timer, you could use stopwatch. You can also access your countdown, so that's your timer basically. Very useful. And very often people ask me, does the watch has a calculator? Well, this one does, and it actually looks pretty cool. It looks very good, and it's easy to use, and it's very convenient for those who use calculator on their watches. So what we can do now is I'll quickly demonstrate to you how the heart rate sensor works. It's not the quickest, so I'll pop it onto my wrist. It also gives you a chance to see how the watch actually looks on the wrist. It's a good size, so it will suit as male as well as a female, so I wouldn't really worry. And I'm sure the kids would be fine with that size as well. So it takes a bit of a time. Usually it takes about 15 to 20 seconds for a reading to start. Well, you can see the reading is taking place already. What I personally prefer is not to take a reading once in a while, but actually turn the option on that my reading, heart rate reading is taken continuously throughout the day. That way you get a much more accurate reading. You also got some information about the watch. You've got several other things. For instance, you can listen to the music as long as you connect it to the Bluetooth and all those things. It's a very simple music player. It's got play and pause, and you can rewind the tracks, and well, that's basically it. Let's quickly jump into the settings and we'll see what we can do in the settings. So for instance, you can change the brightness of the screen. Like I said, I personally prefer to keep it at the brightest. The screen off time goes all the way to 15 seconds. So if you want to keep your screen on for longer, go for this option. You also got this raise your wrist to brighten up the screen. It basically turns the screen on as soon as you turn your wrist. However, I don't recommend this option on watches where watch face can be changed easily, because what it does, although it's a very convenient option, but what it does, when it's underneath the sleeve, it turns the screen on and it starts changing watch faces, pressing buttons and all those horrible things. So I probably wouldn't recommend this option. However, you can turn this option on and lock your screen, and then it will be convenient. There's also do not disturb mode. You've got your sound and vibration settings, which is useful, so you can turn your sound off and your vibration off, and you can choose between the loudness of the sound. There's also several languages. Often asked question as well is, what sort of languages does this watch have? Let's just slowly scroll through and you have a look and you'll see if you can find your own language. Personally, I think there are like tons of languages to choose from, so it should be easy for everyone to use. And you can also set up a password. So if you want for your screen to be like for your watch to be secure, so for instance, if you manage to set up your payment thing, then you can choose to use a password, and it will be like an Apple Watch password. You'll have to input 4 digits before you actually can unlock your watch. What I'd like to do now is I'll quickly demonstrate to you how the microphone sounds, and then what we'll do after, we'll jump into the software that's installed on my phone, and then we're going to come back and I'm going to summarize today's video for you guys.
So guys, so this is IWO 7, and the watch is about 20 centimeters away from my face and my mouth. I'm rotating them as I speak, and I'm in a very quiet environment, so you've got the chance to hear how the microphone sounds and make a decision whether that can be something suitable for you or not.
Right, so let's jump into the Wear Fit Pro app and have a look at the app itself and see what's good, what's bad about the app. Waiting a couple of seconds for it to load. We're going to cancel that. On the first page, usual thing, you always see information about, your previous night's sleep and your heart rate and your blood pressure, blood oxygen levels, and all those things that, everything that your watch managed to gather, as well as the sport records and all those things. On the second page, you've got things like your exercises. So for instance, you can choose between walking, cycling, trekking, and all those good things, and running. You have to have your phone on you because the watch doesn't come with a Bluetooth module. You have to have your phone on you because the watch doesn't come with a GPS module built in. However, if you take your phone and your watch together and you press go when you're going to go for a run, it will track your route and it will show you how long you've been running, your calories burned, your heart rate, and all those good things. And it will actually track your sort of way where you've been running through the streets and all those things. So jumping into the third page, this is where you can see your watch connected. It says connected. It's got the remaining charge, 36%. It's got watch faces. So we'll jump into all dials and I'll show you what's going on. Takes a couple of seconds to load. You can see that majority of watch faces will be paid for. So you have to top up sort of piggy bank where you're going to put some money in and you're going to download those watch faces, and you have to pay for those. However, there is several where you can see they're going to be free of charge. So if we scroll down to, well, you're not going to scroll down, we're going to go into, well, probably popular and click more. I'll scroll through and you can see what sort of watch faces are available. So these are all paid for, and then down the bottom you can see where it says download. That basically means you can download those for free. There's not a lot watch faces to download for free. Most of them are paid for, and I did have a sort of deep and meaningful conversation with the Wear Fit Pro team, and they said that unfortunately the watch faces are created by people and they reserve the right to sort of like, they got a copyright thing going on, so that's the reason why they had to put the prices on it. Because if you remember, the first time when I've introduced you to this software, all of the watch faces were free, and then someone decided to get paid for it, and obviously now you have to pay for those. But there are some free ones you can choose as well. So then if we scroll down, we can see wallet. Basically, this is where you can set up your wallet for your watch to be used as a pay device. So if you've got PayPal, Alipay, or you've got a WeChat payment system going on, you can set them up here, and that will allow you to make payments in the shop as long as your country supports these kind of payments and these kind of watches. And then you've got a little business card on the right. That basically allows you to create your business card, and whenever you need to share your business card with someone, all you have to do is go into your watch, scroll from top to bottom, and there will be like a businessman sort of icon. You press on that, and that will show up a QR code which person can scan with their phone, and they will automatically get your business card on the screen, which they can save. So that basically just helps you to share your business cards without need to print one. Then you've got your weather reports, very simple. Just you can turn it on or off, and you can choose between centigrade and Fahrenheit. For notifications, that's very important because it's got WhatsApp, it's got Google Chat, Line, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Weibo, Kakao Talk, Facebook page, Viber, In Contact, that's a Russian thing, and Telegram, and all those good things. So there are loads and loads of different social medias that can be passed on to your watch, which is good. You can set your alarm, you can set your health reminders for those who you forget to drink water throughout the day. That's very useful for you. You can use your watch as a remote to take pictures, as long as if there is no one around, you can use your watch as a remote. For other settings, you can choose to, like I've done, to have your hourly point measurements. So basically all your health measurements will be taken each hour, every hour, 24 hours a day, non-stop, and that will guarantee you better results. Raise to wake, that's an option for the screen to come on as soon as you rotate your wrist, and you can choose between different time formats, because I know some people are more comfortable with 12-hour format and some people prefer to use 24-hour format. Down here you got favorite contacts, and that's very important for those who are going to be using this watch to have phone call conversations. So in order for you not to dial the phone number manually each and every single time, you can choose different favorite contacts and save them into the phone book onto your watch, and you can just dial your phone numbers whenever you feel like. And also there's a firmware update which you will get straight away as soon as you're going to download this app. Right, so now that you had a chance to have a look at the watch, personally I think it's a very clean, very nicely made watch, and it's very stylish as well, and when the light is shining the right way, it looks really cool. And personally, if I saw that from a distance, I would think to myself, that must be a brand new Apple Watch, it must be. And it's really well built, it's all made out of metal. Crown is plastic, button, I think the button is metal. The watch itself is metal. You've got hardened glass, so the glass wouldn't scratch anytime soon. It'll be perfectly fine. It's very comfortable to wear, it's very comfortable to use. It's got a very nice screen. The only downside would be to this watch is a quick battery drainage. If you use a secondary module for phone calls, it will drain your watch very quickly. However, if you don't, the watch will last for a good 2 weeks, and it's perfectly fine with me. It's by far the best clone of Apple Watch that I've seen on the market so far, and I'm actually asked this question a lot. What would you recommend, FK99 or FK88 or HW22 or this or that? Personally, I'd say scrap all those and get yourself one of these, because it's just so much better. It actually works. It works. It looks stylish. It looks really good. It sits comfortable. The straps never moved, although there are no lock buttons at the back, but the straps never moved in 2 weeks. That's a huge thumbs up for quality. Why not? Try it, buy it, and I'm sure you will enjoy it. What I've done is I've actually done a little collaboration with the person who sent this to me. The company is called Mafam, and they've kindly sort of offered us a little discount to the watch, even though they cost not a lot for what they are. And if you want a little discount, follow down the link below in the description, and you'll get extra money off this watch for yourselves. And there are many different colors to choose from, not just the silver, but the gold, and I think the blue and the black and all those things. And you can choose different straps as well, and you can opt out for options, things like many straps in the pack and all those things. So it's a cool watch. It's a really cool watch. I really enjoyed it. And yeah, if you've got any questions, don't hesitate, comment down below, and I'll do my best to answer your questions as soon as I possibly can. And I'd like to thank everyone who is subscribing to this channel, supporting this community. You're doing a great job, guys, and I'm really appreciate all that. So thank you very much, and I'll see you guys in the next video.